Sundance is right around the corner, and with that, let's talk about the lineup. Now, I will talk about the full lineup, of course, this coming week, and also the buzziest titles, in my opinion. But today, we are going to take the time to look at the midnight selection, because primarily, we do talk about horror here on this channel. Although we do love all types of movies and everything, our focus tends to go to horror, and that's what anything. Whether it's South by, whether it's Sundance, whether it's TIFF, I always flock to the midnight selection first, and then I go to everything else. So with that, Sundance midnight selections for 2025 sound great, honestly. I'm always excited. There's always a title each year, whether it's Infinity Pool, whether it's I Saw the TV Glow, whether it's Talk to Me. Midnights at Sundance always have some great titles, and I'm excited to get into it, so let's do it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Sundance is a couple of weeks away, actually less than 2 weeks away. So let's talk about the midnight selection. That just sounds so good. So first up, we have Dead Lover, which is directed and written by Grace Glowacki, who also is part of the cast here with Ben Petrie, Lea Dos, Chloe Moreau, and it is a world premiere at Sundance, and it comes from Canada, it says, a lonely gravedigger who stinks of corpses finally meets her dream man, but their whirlwind affair is cut short when he tragically drowns at sea. Grief-stricken, she goes to morbid lengths to resurrect him through madcap scientific experiments resulting in grave consequences. An unlikely love. Another Frankenstein movie for 2025 where we have Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride and Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. So I'm excited to see what this movie is going to be like. It sounds interesting, and this perspective is something I don't think we've really seen before. So very curious about this movie. Let's move on to the next one. Didn't Die is directed and written by Mira Menon. It says a podcast host desperately clings to an ever-shrinking audience in the zombie apocalypse. This film stars Kiran Deol, George Basil, Samrat Chakravarti, Katie McEwen, Bishal Bijay Kumar. It is a world premiere at Sundance, and it is also going to be coming from the USA. So I'm excited about this movie. I really think this concept of how does our world look after a post-apocalyptic event like this, right? We have sort of shifted how the world has operated in terms of influence. Podcasts are a huge thing right now. Do they continue? Do they sort of morph into something else? Very curious about this one right here. This is probably one of the buzziest titles, not just in the midnight selection, but I think of all Sundance, and it is the new A24 film that is directed and written by Mark Anthony Green, and it stars Ayo Edebiri, John Malkovich, Juliette Lewis, Murray Bartlett, Amber Midthunder, and it is called Opus. So this film says a young writer is invited to the remote compound of a legendary pop star who mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago. Surrounded by the star's cult of psychophants and intoxicated journalists, she finds herself in the middle of his twisted plan. There's been a bit more that's been released for this movie a couple of days ago. I'm going to talk about that in a recap of news, so stay tuned for that. But Opus sounds so great, honestly. And this movie is actually going to come out really close to the Sundance premiere around March, so you won't have to wait too long for it. Next film is going to be Rabbit Trap. This is directed and written by Bryn Shaney, and it stars Dev Patel, Rosie McEwen, Jade Crute, and it is a world premiere at Sundance coming from the UK. When a musician and her husband move to a remote house in Wales, the music they make disturbs local ancient folk magic, bringing a nameless child to their door who is intent on infiltrating their lives. Dev Patel coming off of Monkey Man last year at South by, now with a different horror film here. Excited to see what that's going to be. A movie from Australia Down Under, Together, directed and written by Michael Shanks. This movie stars Alison Brie, Dave Franco, Damon Harriman. With a move to the countryside already testing the limits of a couple's relationship, a supernatural encounter begins an extreme transformation of their love, their lives, and their flesh. I think these two are great actors. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening here. Next up on the list is Touch Me from the USA, directed and written by Addison. Two codependent best friends become addicted to the heroin-like touch of an alien narcissist who may or may not be trying to take over the world. Directed by Addison Heyman, with a cast of Olivia Taylor-Dudley, Lou Taylor Pucci, Jordan Gavares, Marlene Forte, Paget Brewster. This is a world premiere coming from the USA. Finally, we have from Norway, The Ugly Stepsister, directed and written by Emily Blichfeld. In a fairy tale kingdom where beauty is a brutal business, Elvira battles to compete with her incredibly beautiful stepsister, and she will go to any length to catch the prince's eyes. A cast that includes Lea Maren, Thea Sophie Locknice, Andal Torp, Flo Fagerli, Isaac Komoroff, Malte Gardinier, a world premiere at Sundance. We shall see. So honestly, really good lineup here. Very different films altogether. Really shaping up to be something that I think is going to be a solid lineup, honestly. I'm very excited for Opus, but the other film that really catches my eye is Touch Me, because I'm a huge proponent that a picture is like worth everything, honestly, and the picture for Touch Me just looks like we're gonna get into a trip that's insane. And this is the same thing that happened with me with What's Inside, which was another film I saw last year at Sundance I really loved, and I was really sort of like taken into because of how insane it was. And I'm a huge lover of that film. I know a lot of people didn't love it as much, but I truly did feel it was great. So I'm excited to see what these midnight films will look like. I believe the only one that has a release date so far is going to be Opus in March, but we could probably hear some chatters about the other ones. I believe also The Ugly Stepsister already got acquired by Shudder, but I don't know if it has a release date just yet. But I'll be sure to update you as we go. We're going to be talking about Sundance for the next month or so strap in for that. A couple of episodes a week or so just focused on Sundance, the films coming out, the what people think, our thoughts, our reviews, all of that. So if you want to be in the loop of everything Sundance, stay tuned here. Stay tuned later this week as well for the buzziest titles we're excited for, as well as the full lineup. I'll probably do that in a live or something. I think that'd be a better way. But make sure you follow us wherever you can. Be subscribed here. Hit that notification so you never miss out on a video. Our goal is 40,000 for the end of the month. About 4,000 away from that. Hopefully we'll get to that pretty soon. As always, stay safe, stay positive.